Talk Black with Trendy Trev.
Yes, a very good morning, you Daily Mob. Welcome back to your daily program, National Talk Black, the yarn circle, the Murray Grapevine. It is National Talk Black. It is I, Trevor Tim, Trendy Trev. Murray from the Curry, live on First Nation radio station here in Cairns on your Dingy country. And we go across the nation thanks to NERS, National News Radio Service. And you can have your saber calls on that daily number 1-800-422-416. Acknowledge my mob, my father's side, 1 year Gunga leader, up there, Burgtown, Doomadgee Way. And my mother's side with me in spirit, Darnley Island Arab. Best of both worlds, and a big shout out to all my mob across this country, and to wherever you are listening here for the daily program National Talk Black. Like I said, you can have your say 1-800-422-416. Otherwise, text our brother 045 714 0550, and our Facebook page as well, BBM 987 FM. I'd like to acknowledge traditional owners of the land where we broadcast from, and to all the traditional owners across this beautiful country of ours. Welcome back to National Talk Black. Yarn up strong, your mob, and have your say. Too deadly. All right, we're going to jump straight in and catch over yarn there. A beautiful sister, Vanessa Lee-Ah Mat, associate epidemiologist, but also doing some other work in regard to the art space and a business opportunity. Cash flow for beautiful artists, grassroots or the elite, digital platforms to economically empower Indigenous artists. And we're talking about the company space, Walking Between Worlds. We've got Sister come to join me here in the studio. Vanessa, very good morning. How are you, sis?
Good morning, Trevor.
Just grab that microphone there, my sister. Thank you very much. Morning to you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you very much. Before we start, just to let the mob know who your mob, where you're from.
So I'm from Yupungati and Miriam people, or Mer, in the Torres Strait, Cape York in the Torres Strait. I live on the land of the Cook and Yalanji people.
Yes.
And it's just so lovely and refreshing, let me say that.
Beautiful.
It's enhancing my spirit as I sit here and speak.
Yeah, and when you say enhancing your spirit, because you've been working away from home, haven't you, for so many years. Quickly paint that picture, where you've been and what made you come home.
So I did my first qualifications in education. I went back up home to the Torres Strait. I worked at Hopevale for a few weeks when home to the Torres Strait was teaching for 10 years. Then
that's in primary school, high school?
I did behaviour management specialist.
Okay.
So that was from preschool all the way through to 12 years old. I developed...
A lot of adults need that training.
That training helped me work with adults.
There you go. All right.
And then I set up programs for sports programs, environmental programs. I linked up with nutrition programs for young people, and I ran that, put that in place, got funding for them, everything, and I got an award for that.
Yes.
And which was...
So how long ago was that?
That was in 2005. I got that award.
Okay, beautiful. Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you. And then my grandmother was adamant that there was more for me in my life, and to spend it.
The elder has spoken.
Oh, she did, in more ways than one. That finger went up and she pointed it straight at me.
Growl.
Yes. And when she finished growling and saying her piece, she went back to gardening, and there was nothing I could say or do.
Yeah.
So saw me getting my master's in public health.
It was a one-way conversation, wasn't it?
Well, it was two-way because the ancestors were there as well.
Beautiful. And
my grandmother, and we're sitting outside the garden, and I was the third person who had no say.
There you go. Thank you.
But the ancestors spoke with my grandmother.
And when they speak, you listen.
Wow.
And then you act.
Wow. That was it. My word, it was. So then I did my master's in public health at University of Queensland. Majoring in Indigenous health, and I went across to Bangladesh, and I looked at vitamin A deficiency in pregnant women, and I was there for 5 months. I lived there, and my research was enough to encourage the World Bank to actually invest in nutrition and vitamin A programs for women and children across the whole of Bangladesh, which is fabulous.
And did that come to fruition?
Yeah, it's still in place today.
Beautiful. Good on you.
Yeah, and so, but when I came back to Australia, UQ said to me, University of Queensland said, why don't you do this as a PhD and go back to Bangladesh? And I was like, why don't I do this for my own people?
Thank you.
And
exactly.
And then Griffith University offered a job with doing a PhD. So I went across to Griffith University, and I did my PhD D there, and I focused on the Aboriginal Community Controlled Health Services in Queensland because I'm from Queensland. I didn't want to have that argument across all the other states.
You begin nothing really.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, start at home. That's what you did, yes?
Yes. And then I did that, and I've been doing a lot of work in policy. So I've taken that knowledge from my PhD of the policies that actually prevented our people from accessing health services, from, the stolen generation, the child protection policies, all of those policies that have impacted on our people. And what I did was because I have this, that fascination. Most people have a fascination for words and stuff. I have words too, but numbers.
Numbers.
Yes.
Numbers. Okay, so you love numbers. The fascination was there.
Yes.
So
and data. So I was able to look at policy and look at how the policies didn't align with the data sets, and then turn around and say, well, listen, they don't align.
Yeah.
This is what needs to be done. Let's work together. And so I've spent a lot of years. I went down to University of Sydney, and I still work at University of Sydney externally and or remotely. And and I work with different organisations and governments from all over the world on Indigenous suicide prevention, Indigenous wellbeing and wellness.
Yes.
When I say Indigenous, I mean Indigenous people globally.
Yes.
Not just Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. I also do Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people policy, like the health performance framework and stuff like that.
And you're doing that right now?
I've sort of eased off a lot of that work so that I could focus on this work, because this
Walking between worlds.
Walking between worlds.
Let's have that conversation. And what is walking between worlds?
Walking between worlds is a social impact project that we're doing, and what we're doing is empowering Indigenous artists. Indigenous with the lowercase I, meaning that we're doing it globally.
Okay.
Yeah, and our MVP, which is the minimum viable product.
MVP is a minimal viable
product. That's the first place.
I
That's
thought you were talking NBA, championship MVP. But okay, in Australia.
Well, you can shoot hoops. It's really deadly.
Beautiful, thank you. There you go. Let's bring that into the conversation. So, walking between worlds. So, this is into art, into business, stepping away from what you've been studying and what your doctorate at.
It brings everything together.
Okay. Please explain.
So
how do you use that
brings, yes, thank you, Pauline. So what it does is bring everything I've been doing together, because I'm looking at how the different policies and like our grassroots communities and our artists from our grassroots communities who struggle to get their work recognised. And at the same time, the communities are continuously caught in that cycle of poverty.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've set up this model where we are actually empowering communities through charitable organisations within communities, as well as the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists.
Okay.
Yeah, so
we're talking people, grassroots, at home, in the backyard, up there in Thursday Island, up there in Pomperau.
In
Yarrabah. Doing the artwork, whatever the case may be.
Over in Tiwi.
And here's a platform where they can put their work online and receive benefits from it, or payment, what have you. But we're also talking ongoing residual payment.
Exactly.
Because we're talking about...
So this is through NFTs.
Okay, and NFT, what's the acronym?
Non-fungible token.
Non-fungible token. Okay. So, empowering Indigenous artists and creators. Okay. So, non-fungible token.
NFTs.
NFTs, what's that?
Well, an NFT means that we can actually track. A number goes on your piece of art, and as we put it up as a digital token online, and it links, like digital token, and it links into that cryptocurrency market. So a lot of artists would have been reading, and it was on 60 Minutes not too long ago. A lot of artists will be reading now about how non-Indigenous artists are turning their arts into NFTs or cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency, so it becomes a financial vehicle, but we're talking a passive ongoing residual income, a payment here for the individual, for the artist.
Exactly.
Are you talking directly working with the artists? Are you talking about cutting out our art centres in our communities, or are you working with them, or explain that space?
Well, what we're doing is we're cutting out So, usually when you sell a piece of art,
Yes.
right, so they have to have their, that it has to go through the money. The money is transferred across from bank account to bank account to bank account. Okay? So by doing it this way, we're not transferring it across to bank account, and people take their interest. No. We are working directly with the artist. Okay? And so we're working in some sections, or in some communities, I'm working collectively with the art centres.
Okay. Yes.
And in some communities, I'm working completely with the Aboriginal and Torres Strait artists themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, and it just depends on the artist. Some artists want to work as a collective. Some artists want to do it individually.
Yep. And it's their choice.
And it is their choice. And that comes back to that point where, if the art centre is a non-charitable organisation, a charitable organisation.
Yes.
If the art centre is a charitable organisation, then the artists can actually put them forward to be on the list to receive donations. Commissions. Sure,
exactly.
From the sale of their artwork through the NFT.
Yes.
Yeah, so the artist, of course, walks away with the largest amount.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from that piece that's sold, so the artist might get, say, 30%, right? As the artist, and that goes to the artist or the artist pool if there's a collective of artists.
Yep.
Right? And then 30% goes to Walking Between Worlds, and that's our platform.
Yep.
Now, there's 12 of us, roughly about 12 of us, and we're talking about people who do algorithms, people who do data codes, people who do the insurance side, people who do the marketing side.
Sure.
So we're doing all of that for the
all
artists.
professionals in all fields at the table to make this vehicle viable.
And to give the artist the least amount of headache.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so the artist, all the artist has to do is create.
Okay, they don't have to be IT savvy?
They don't need to be IT savvy. They don't need to know about the internet. We do ask them that they know how to use an email. That's really important.
Yep.
But everybody knows that. We learned that, I don't know. I remember I was 1995 when the emails came out.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's right, exactly.
I was young. I was like 15.
But they're young artists out there who are IT savvy anyway.
They are, and
they just see this as a beautiful, fantastic opportunity.
And you know what? Even the artists that are older, the older generation, they're looking for change. They've worked their arts across different platforms. They're doing the markets, and they're saying to me, Vanessa, how do we turn our artists into a digital platform?
Yeah.
And so how do we get that conversation happening? How do we move our art so that people all over the world have access to our art?
Yeah, beautiful.
How do we make that change? How do we show them our connection to country, our beautiful country, and what our art means to us?
Yeah, beautiful.
And how do we tell our story?
It's a platform which also tell our story. It's a platform as well, tell our story and tell the true story, true Australia. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and the true representation of Australia globally.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
you have these conversations with art centres?
I've started having the conversation with art centres. I've spoken to 4 different art centres now.
Are they open to the conversation? They're sort of looking at you.
They are, but they're not saying no. So the thing is, people are confused because they really aren't sure what this is.
They're looking at you as another agent.
Well, they're looking at me as another agent, but also as though I've got 2 heads, and I'm like, no, only one. Look here.
Yeah, shut up. 2 eyes.
And so then they also have that conversation with me, and I'm sending them emails. I'm talking on the phone to them. Quite often the art manager. I've only had one case where the art manager actually said to me, "I don't think this is something that we could do, but I will put it out to the artists."
Beautiful.
And I said, "That's all I ask."
And
that's all I ask.
They need to do due diligence in looking after their artists.
Exactly.
Let them know all the different avenues.
That's right.
Here's a new one.
That's right.
Have a think about it. Here's Vanessa's number, what have you.
Yeah, and some of the artists will actually say to me, look, I don't own an iPad, but I've used an iPad, but I can't afford it. And so now I'm talking to Arts Queensland, and I've asked them, how do I get funding to get iPads?
Thank you, for the artists.
For the artists.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and if, that
way they can be IT savvy.
That's right, and maybe get the art centre to hold iPads.
Yeah, beautiful.
So people can go into the art centre, work on their work at the art centre on the iPad. Beautiful. So if we get 3 to 5 iPads per art centre, that's a huge step.
The old phrase, high tide rises all ships.
Oh, I love that phrase.
Yeah.
That's deadly. I come from an island.
Thank you. There you go. 3 times you can mention my name. The 4th time you can have that, sister. But it's empowering. You know what I mean? And we all are getting it together. You know, and we're all succeeding, so to speak. The artists themselves are selling their beautiful work, and everyone, gets their cut in regard to business. But it's a beautiful space.
Oh, exactly. And we're looking at putting 30% into Indigenous charities chosen by the artists.
Beautiful.
And so it's not just someone, the criteria is that the charity must be Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander.
Okay, beautiful.
And that could be a charity for domestic violence,
yep.
For suicide prevention, for
men's group, women's
group,
whatever.
We might have an artist from the Torres Strait, for example,
yep.
and they might turn around and say, we want a percentage of our work to go to Murakosker, and we want them to make an Aboriginal men's group.
Yeah, beautiful.
For domestic family violence.
Yes.
Yeah. That's huge.
Exactly.
And we're starting to cut out the middleman, and we're saying, all right, we actually have empowerment, we have control over our lives,
and we've got the answers to our problems, the solutions to our problems, and it's from the inside out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
from come from.
What is that? That Redfern statement. Yeah. Yeah, we have the solutions.
Yes, beautiful.
The blueprint.
So to all our beautiful artists out there who are listening in, how do they contact you, to the mob just listening in, tuning in? Vanessa Lee-Ah Mat, and driving the ship, walking between worlds. That is a company, a business entity as such?
It is.
Walking between worlds?
You can get online and have a look. Page, www.walkingbetweenworlds.net. We also have the webinar and
.net.
Yep.
.com.au.
No, .com.au.
.net.
.net. That's
one
it.
word. Walking between worlds. S on the end. .net.
.net.
Check it out, your mob. Yep.
Yep. Or you can get online, and also there's the webinar link that we're running a live webinar next week on Wednesday. Walking Between Worlds, all one word. .webinar. I'm just looking at the NINJA Webinar Ninja, one word. .com/live-webinars.
Okay, read that out again.
Okay, so Walking Between Worlds .webinarninja.com/live webinars. So live-webinars. So, and yes, and you can contact me on, I'll give you guys my email.
Yeah, do that. Okay.
Yeah. So it's Vanessa@blacklorikeet.com.
Vanessa at
Blacklorikeet, all one word.
Blacklorikeet. How do you spell Lorikeet?
BLACKLORIKEET.com.
Lovely. That's your email. So for you mob there who want to have some yarns or conversations or get more information, Vanessa@blacklorikeet.com. Yep. Contact Vanessa there if you're an artist, or if you've got a family member who's an artist. Here's a fantastic opportunity. If you are with an art centre, you can go through your art centre. Okay. Yep. Or bring the art centre to the table regarding your conversation with Vanessa. Look, it's a fantastic opportunity, and we're talking about creating a space where their art is online. It's sold.
Yep.
Okay, but people can always purchase more of that art, that particular art.
Exactly.
There's the ongoing residual income.
Well, so when we get online, so when we talk about cryptocurrency or NFTs,
yes,
we're talking about the artists creating a community for their artwork.
Okay.
So we've got these grassroots artists, and they might be able to put up, say, 50 pieces of work, right? So we create a community for their work.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, people buy. So you might get 50 investors who invest in their artwork. So we have a community of 50 investors for this artist. Then there's the resale, and then it just continues to grow.
So have you got buyers in your pocket?
Have we got investors in our pocket?
Yes.
we may have.
We may have. There you go. Okay.
We're not.
Bring your artwork. I've got the people here who want to buy artwork.
Oh yeah.
If they like your artwork, you've got a sale here.
So we've been marketing this for quite some time. So Tim has been doing. He's the CEO.
Tim. Yep.
Yeah. Big shout out to Tim. And he's in Sydney.
Okay.
And he's been on Twitter. He's been on. There's a whole team of us.
Sure.
We've been doing this marketing.
Any other First Nation people at the table?
Yes, there are. There's 3 of us.
Okay.
Yep.
Out of 10?
Yep.
Okay, yes.
Yep. Out of 12.
Out of 12, okay.
Yep. And actually, there could be 4 now. We just asked another person to join us.
Okay.
Yeah, Liam Ridgway. And so, and these are people that have that knowledge of data. Yeah. People who have that knowledge of artists, people who have that understanding of how to communicate with communities.
Or entrepreneur thinking and passion.
All joined together.
And this comes back,
that's what I was saying to you. It's about bringing everything you do together into one space. And that's what we're doing here. We're economically,
I don't even draw. I'm start drawing now.
So that empowerment of Indigenous people, it's that economic empowerment of communities.
Yeah.
We're changing the paradigm. We're shifting the thinking.
Well, we are living in the 21st century. This is the information world.
Exactly.
Are you online or inline? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, forever changing world, and change is inevitable. So, a mob out there who are an artist, grassroots, wherever you may be, okay, here's an opportunity to change. Change is the engine of growth.
Oh yeah, and it's we're walking between worlds.
How beautiful, lovely. There it is.
We're bringing the oldest traditional culture into the newest digital platform.
Yeah. And that's why our mob have a feet in both camps.
Oh, they
culture
do.
Strong in the business world.
Exactly,
online.
And that we're asking them to share their storage to share their knowledge. Now, I want to be very clear, we do have a cultural protocol set up.
Yep.
And we do have, and in that cultural protocol, we consulted with a lot of Terry Jenkins' work, and we also consulted with Create New South Wales work. We also consulted with Bibi Barber. So we did this properly with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander copyright people.
Yes, and protocol and respect.
Oh, absolutely. And, so those discussions have happened, and we're bringing those people, so when we bring the artists to the table, we can have that proper conversation where questions can be asked.
Sure, and it's a relaxed atmosphere.
Oh,
nothing beats black on black, and we're talking that,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's a beautiful space, and get educated and use this vehicle. We can help you teach you how to drive it. Got your learner's driver's license, but as soon
and then we take it globally.
Beautiful, take it.
That's
globally.
it.
Good. A beautiful yarn. We're going to be in touch. We're going to yarn about this. We've talked about a couple of times now regarding the space and having you back in Cairns, Far North Queensland, having your home, my sister Vanessa. So this is a great opportunity, and to a mob out there, get in touch with Vanessa at blacklorikeet.com, and check out walkingbetweenworlds.net. And all the information there as well about turning your art piece into a financial vehicle in the best way, in the space of business as well as protocol of art, culture.
The collections will generate, I tell you, engagement and empowerment across communities, Indigenous communities, starting in Australia and just going globally.
Beautiful. Hey Vanessa, always good to catch up with my sister. We're going to be yarning a lot more on this. Watch this space. We will talk soon. Thank you for being you. Great to see you, sister, and we'll yarn soon.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, listeners.
Too deadly. Beautiful yarn of Vanessa Lee-Ah Mat, social epidemiologist, but also now the other hat she's wearing in regarding Walking Between Worlds. .net. Check that out, and it's a digital platform to economically empower Indigenous artists. A very powerful opportunity there, you mob, and that may empower people to bring their art form to the surface. If you're a truck driver, if you're a pole dancer, whatever the case may be, you can get in the art and do your thing, shake your booty online. Probably a wrong phrase to use, but anyway, where my mind's at, too deadly. Happy saying Yarn Up Strong here, National Talk Black, 1-800-422-416. Trendy Trev, Murray from the Curry.